Namaste, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Blooming Lotus Healing Channel. My name is Jikara, and I'm a spiritual healing facilitator. And today I'm going to talk about a subject that I opened up about last year when I sat with Mother Aya back in September of 2022. And I've had a lot of questions around plant medicine from different people coming through that have watched the videos. And so today I kind of wanted to hone in a little bit on how to prepare for this medicine, whether it is Mama Aya or any other medicine, any other plant medicine, and how to prepare for it and how to really give it the respect and the honoring that it deserves. But before we get started, just kind of wanted to take a moment just to really celebrate and just connect to the essence of gratitude by thanking all of my supporters that are part of the Cosmic Light Activation group. Thank you so much for being part of it. I'm so grateful for each one of you. And I'm going to celebrate you by sharing your names here. And I just kind of wanted to share with you that I am opening up soon the Cosmic Light Activation group. Most likely it's going to be by the end of May. So if you guys want to participate and support this channel, then you definitely want to join my email list. And my email list is going to be directly on my website, thebloominglotushealing.com. And so then I will announce directly through my email list when this opportunity is available. So what do you get at the Cosmic Light Activation group? We get together every month to do an a collective Akashic clearing. It's a really great way to really just clear energetic gunk that we just pick up along the way. There's a lot of collective programs that sometimes kind of get connected to us, and so we basically go in and clear programs for you in regards to those collective energies that could potentially be affecting you and your own healing journey. And then there's also a private Telegram group where we go in and I share a free reading, collective reading for the group, specific for the group. So then you get that additional support throughout the week, kind of like a little bit of guidance from spirit. So I pull some oracle cards and share some of that, and then also you get to participate on my Instagram lives that I do every Monday. You get to participate there and get priority on some of those. So as I grow the group, I just kind of wanted to say, as I grow the group, I may not be able to get everyone, but I'm going to try to get I'm going to try to get as many as possible within the group. But at least you're getting the added benefit of the collective readings and also the clearings, which are powerful, absolutely powerful. So I kind of wanted to ask you to just take a moment to share and like this video. If this video will resonate with you at the end, by the time you're done with this video. And I also want to take a moment to ask you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed yet, so that way you know when I post a video next. Enough about this stuff. Let's go ahead and dive into this conversation. As y'all know, I don't like to edit anything. I just kind of come in and talk. So I'm just going to come in and talk, just like, we're just, chilling out here together in this conversation. And is going to want to say, full disclosure, I am not a shaman, and I am not I don't proclaim to be one, and I do believe that I've been in a shamanic journey, but I am not necessarily someone that I can say, well, I am like this lineage from that or this. I've been in this really interesting journey of rediscovering my ancestry. And in this journey, I've recognized that there's been a need, right, to really release a lot of energies from my own lineage, from both my mother and my father's side. And so I connect more to my mother's side of the lineage. So my father is Italian, and my mother is Venezuelan. I was born and raised in Venezuela, so I connect really, truly to that lineage in um in um in Venezuela, right? To the lineage of the mestizos, right? Because we in Venezuela, we're kind of very mixed, right? Because we have, we did have the Spaniards come in, and then so we have the blood of the Spaniards coming in, and that kind of opens up another can of worms when it comes down to the Moors and all that. But if we stay only with the let's say the surface level, we got the Spaniards, and then we also have the indigenous, and then we also have the Africans that came in. So I am a mestiza, right? So I am a mix of everything. And I, in a way, was colonized, right? We were colonized, right? And in that colonization, we lost a lot of our traditions and our ways of being, because we were indoctrinated into the Catholic Church, and that was just the way that the Spaniards kind of came in. So so I've been in this journey of decolonizing the way I connect to my spirituality, and really go back to my roots, and really, like, trying to really reconcile my relationship with my ancestry, in all forms that I can, right? So I particularly connect more with the indigenous ancestry side of my mother. So I've been in this journey, in this quest, right, to reconnect again. And so in this journey, I started back in 2020. I connected to some grandmothers in Guatemala that were sharing about cacao medicine, the sacred medicine of cacao. And so they were kind of sharing their ways, and they wanted to share about their cosmology, and I was really interested about it. And it's also new, right? The Mayan cosmology and everything. And I just found it so fascinating. Within that call, it was a Zoom call. I found a connection with this Akutu Irka. She is a sacred Taino healing, and she does a lot of moon ceremonies for women. And so she is also helping women decolonize the way they connect to their spirituality, and really reconnect to their ancestors. And she does it in such a loving way. And the way that I connected to her was because in that call, we were invited to share song, and she basically shared. She shared a. What do I say? It's a drum. So she shared a drum, it's a Taino drum, and that drum just, like, it called my heart. And when I did that, I was like, okay, I definitely need to connect with this woman. So I reached out to her, and I told her that I was in this quest of reconnecting with my ancestors, and I wanted to really figure out, how to do that. And so she told me, you know what, because I told her I was from Venezuela. She said, we're kind of cousins, you know that, right? I was like, what do you mean? And she said, well, the Arawaks, which come from your country, they're the ones, they're our original ancestors, because they traveled into all the different islands. The Tainos are typically from the like the Tainos are basically from the islands in the Caribbean. So I'm talking about, like, Dominican Republic and beyond. And so we're looking at Cuba and Puerto Rico and all of these different islands. And it's interesting because a lot of the foods, like, they have something called casabe in Dominican Republic, and here in the US, the only type of cassave that I find is from the Dominican Republic, but we have that also in my country. So my family, my lineage on my mother's side, we're very connected to cassave, and cassave is a bread, right? That it's connected to the yuca. Yuca is the cassava, or what tapioca is made of. So it's a root, and so the cassava bread, or cassave, it's definitely something that we share, right? And so we have a lot of things that we share, which is so beautiful. So I leaned into her in this journey, and that really connected me to a lot, right? So I had a session with her where she pulled a power animal for me, because she said that that's tradition. That's typically when you're born, you get a power animal so that they can protect you, they can accompany you throughout your life. So it's been a really beautiful journey, right? So in this journey of connecting to my ancestry, I've been called to connect to sacred medicine. I remember I can't remember how long ago, but it was a little while ago, before 2020. I want to say maybe 2015 or 2016. I Maybe around then, I was the name ayahuasca came to my awareness, right? Because she kind of comes into your awareness in that sense. And so I was watching a documentary about healing, and in the jungle and in the Amazon, and I was like, wow, this is incredible. But at the time, I was going through a transition. I didn't really have the funds to pay thousands of dollars to go into a trip down to the Amazon. And I was also kind of like, a little bit, even though I do speak Spanish, I was a little bit like, weary about it. So I never really pursued it. And so, but in that journey, I have been connecting with with my cousins, right? So I've been connecting. I've gone to Mexico and connected to the sacred lands in Mexico. I've gone to Arizona, connected to the sacred lands in Arizona. And so I've been also connecting to the sacred lands here in Florida. So really connecting, right? Like really connecting to these sacred lands, and really feeling into the ancestors of those lands, and being guided to these places. And so long story short, I get connected to the first medicine that I got connected to was the medicine of cannabis. And so that is a sacred medicine. It's a plant medicine. It's a psychoactive medicine that helps you, recalibrate your mind, and reconnect it to your heart, right? Like that's really what it's about. And so when we use it with intention, and the same thing with after the sacred medicine of cannabis, I then got introduced to the loving medicine of the mushrooms. And they're so loving and so gentle and so incredible. And I really connect deeply with them. And then later on in September, then I got September of last year, 2022, I got connected to Mama Aya. So it was kind of like this culmination, and I feel like I just needed to connect to her one time. And I don't know if I'll connect to her again, not because I reject her, but more because I was meant to just connect to her in a way that she would stay within me, right? Like, and like really activate me in ways that I can't really explain into words, but they're just there. There's like this presence of this knowing, this wisdom that is basically part of my journey, right? Of my reawakening of my ancestry, and what I'm meant to be expressing, right? So it's been a really beautiful journey for me. And, I kind of wanted to share this with you, prefacing into how to prepare for plant medicine, so that you know what my journey has been and where I'm coming from. Like it's basically, I am just a woman who is been reclaiming, right? Reclaiming my ancestry in some shape or form. And so I also have connected with one time with the medicine of Wachuma, which is a medicine that comes from a sacred cactus. And so I did connect to that medicine one time. So I've connected to many medicine, to all of these, and I can say they all have their own spirit. They all have their own essence and their own energy, and they all want to be respected. And that's the reason why I kind of wanted to create this video, because what I've learned by connecting to these medicines is that it's very easy for us to stay in a space of wanting um, to just, yes, we need to do the work, and these medicines help us do work, but there's also work that has to happen afterwards, like this integration that has to happen afterwards, right? And so it's important that we remember that when we prepare for the medicine, that we prepare not only to take the medicine, but we prepare for the work that we have to do in the process, right? And understand that the work is not gonna be an immediate an immediate thing. It's gonna, most likely there will be a practice that you have to incorporate into your life, and there may be difficulties in incorporating that practice, and you may have to go back and reassess, and really bringing in that humanity, right? Bringing in that essence of understanding that the compassionate part of you needs to be active and present within you as much as possible. I'm not going to say at all times, because that's virtually impossible, because we do have the egoic parts of us. But it's really important that we prepare for the medicine, knowing before you even take any medicine, any sacred medicine, prepare for the fact that yes, you're going to prepare physically, you're going to go into a dieta and prepare for the medicine, and they want you to prepare for it. They want you to treat them as sacred. These spirits, they want you to really respect them and give them the value and the essence of what who they are, right? And so I can tell you firsthand, working with the sacred medicine of mushroom, you know I just recently did a medicine journey with it, and it basically did not want it was interesting because it really, I did not prepare for it properly, and it really, just the spirit was really annoyed, right? I was like, no, this is not the way. And so I cannot express to you, how important this is, that you prepare physically, mentally for this medicine. And then not only that, understand that, when you go in, that you go in with trust that you're going to receive what you need and not what you want, not what you think is going to happen. Just going in trusting that you're going to receive whatever it is that you need at the moment, right? And so that's a really, what can you do? So you're probably saying, okay, Jakara, but give me like the details on how can I prepare with the medicine. So I would say, the moment that you say yes to, you give your sacred yes, because it is a sacred yes that you give to the medicine energetically. When you say yes and you take the action to book a retreat or whatever that is that you're going to do, when you give that sacred yes, then there's going to be an energetic interaction that's going to happen between you and that medicine, and the medicine's going to start working with you even prior, and you may start feeling uncomfortable even prior. You may start feeling fear and other things, and even rejection, or even feeling queasy. Like you may have all of these different experiences that are going to be basically, is the medicine preparing you, right, for it. And so what I would say, when it comes down to preparing is, first of all, when you give that sacred yes, just dropping into your heart, taking a moment to just set that intention in your heart and say, okay, I know that I gave you my sacred yes, and these are my intentions, and I give you my intentions, and I let you pave the way for me. I let you take the wheel, right? And allow the medicine to give you what it needs, because the medicine's going to know. It's intuitive, it's sentient, it knows what you need, right? And so it is a spirit, like I said. So the other thing that I would say as well, that you want to do is prepare your mind and your body. So, how do you prepare your mind? By meditating, by setting, by maybe journaling, setting your intentions. Really, even start talking to the medicine. Before you even connect to it, start talking to it, and start speaking to, about the things that are bothering you, and the things that you need, and ask it to cure you. You can say, please help me cure this part of me, help me connect with my heart, help me find the way out of this, like really speak to it. And I feel like when you do that with a heart, with an open heart, there's so much beauty that can come out of that. The next thing you want to do is prepare your, physically. And so physically, I would say, everyone's going to have different ways that you prepare for the, there's traditional ways. I personally believe that, as long as you're keeping your body clean from alcohol and any other substances, so any other medications or substances, and you're eating healthy, like, whole foods, just wholesome foods that will be, good for you, and giving yourself the space to eat things that are very gentle and calming for the body. And so, maybe avoiding, the very heavy and greasy things or foods. And if you are going to eat oils, maybe going for the wholesome oils like olive oil, or avocado oil, doing those things. And then from there, going into the space of like, okay, maybe eating less spicy things, so that you can really bring your the spirit of calmness into your body, right? So that your body can be in a calm state, so that it can receive the energy of the mushroom, and then the mushroom, or the ayahuasca or cannabis or whatever it is, so it can really receive, your body can really receive you, receive no your body can receive the medicine, and that the medicine can receive you. So it's basically both, right? It's like a receiving. And I think that, when we do that, now that I'm learning this from these beautiful plants, is that they're very particular, right, about how they want to be they want to be respected because they know that they have a lot to give you. And so they want to know if you're ready. Like, they really want to know, are you ready to receive the medicine? And so the way that you show that you're ready is by, again, setting those intentions, working on your mind, and working on your body, so that you can receive them. And so once you receive it, once you prepare, you prepare for it. And you can prepare for, just by, making sure that day, that, for the day of, right? How do you prepare the day of? Having things, especially for Mama Aya. I know that for me, I particularly wore diapers, just because I heard that she really is, she can be very, like, aggressive releasing toxins from your body. So I was like, okay, I want to make sure that I don't want to, like, have a situation. But it can be very intense. So doing things like that, like caring for yourself. So it was funny for me, because I remember when I was in the retreat last year, I remember just having this moment of like, oh, I'm just kind of creating my little diaper bag. And so I had that like aha moment, that I was taking care of myself, I was nourishing myself, I was mothering myself at that moment. And I thought it was beautiful. So having things that will, that would help you, feel comfortable, having maybe the wipes, and having, like, things to, maybe if you are, because typically when you do these ceremonies, you're going to be out in the, in some sort of space that it's natural, because you're meant to reconnect with Mother Earth. So at those moments, it's important to, maybe have something that will help you with mosquitoes and things of that nature. Maybe having an essential oil that will help you ground, especially in those moments that you may feel like there's upheaval, emotional upheaval for you. And then remembering that you have tools. And that's another thing too. Another way that you want to prepare for the medicine is to have tools, such as your breath. Practice breath work, or practice things that will help you ground, right, into your body. Because at those moments when you are in the energetic, you're gonna feel the upheaval, you're going to feel uncomfortable. And so you've got to have ways for you to manage that uncomfort, and understand that that uncomfort will subside, and that uncomfort is there to be released, right? It's basically the energetic pus, right, that is being released. So being mindful of that. And so prepare yourself for really holding space for yourself, right? So that's another thing is, another thing that you want to be aware of is that this is a time that you're doing for yourself, to hold space for yourself, to be present with all of you, the ugly, the beautiful, the middle, the everything, being present fully with yourself, right? And so, and understanding that that is part of the work, right? If we really want to heal ourselves, that is part of the work, right? And so that's the one thing. Listen, I'm not here to tell you that I have everything figured out, because I don't. I'm still healing myself. I'm still trying to incorporate things within my own life to help me in my own journey. Because if you've watched my video on my experience, I come from a lot of there was a lot of neglect and abuse, and it took a lot of deep diving within myself to really recognize this and accept it, and then not only accept it, but also do so without having to go into a place of victimhood and hate towards the people that were part of this, right, for my own life. So really understanding that, and so, like, connecting with that relationship with myself, right? So I know it's going to be an ongoing thing for me. And I think that the time that I'm done with my work here, I'll probably just go up back into the ethers, and go back into spirit, go back to source. So it's like, I know it's ongoing work, and so I'm here for it, right? And so, but anyway, so going back to how to prepare. So really being prepared to create that space for yourself, that safe space. Make sure that you're choosing communities that feel safe, right? That And so because that's important, that is so important. Being under the medicine and not having a safe space is, it actually is going to do more detriment than good, right? So because then you have to overcome the trauma that situation created for you, right? Um so I would say, really truly, as you are moving through this journey of connecting with the plant medicines, whichever it is that calls you, right? Because there's so many out there. There's so many. I mean, there's iboga, that's from Africa. There's wachuma, that's from Ecuador. There's the sacred medicine of mushrooms, which is from all over the world. But the Mexicans, it's very connected to the sacred spirit of corn. And so the Mazatec people, they really did work with them, and and they work with it with the families, and families, actually entire families, take them together. So then we have that, and then we also have ayahuasca, which is, the mother. She's the mother, and she is in the Amazon. So there's so many, and then cannabis. Comes from the east, so it's kind of like more towards Afghanistan and India and all of those places, and it's also a sacred medicine. So, and it's used too. Like, actually, cannabis is used in certain parts of India, and is brewed and taken in sacred, in sacredness. And so again, these medicines want to be respected. So really treat this experience not as an experience, but as an opportunity for you to reconnect with yourself, and not just checking something off the box, right? Just like, oh, I want to experience this in my lifetime. But beyond that, just beyond the experience, what the profound effects is going to have for you. And there's also going to be an integration afterwards, right? And so that's another thing that I wanted to mention, that I felt it was important to mention on this video, is that another part that you have to prepare is the fact that you got to understand that not only you prepare before, you prepare for the moment, you go through the moment, through the process, and then there's that integration part. So prepare yourself for setting time for integration, setting that time, for you to integrate. Because I can tell you right now, when we do that, when we don't do that, we kind of miss, the medicine. We kind of miss that. How many times is the medicine going to tell us to do something, right? We have to integrate and take those actions forward. So, like, at some point the medicine's going to be like, okay, I'm done with you, right? So we got to be um proactive, right? Like that proactivity of integration. And again, you don't have to be perfect. And then that's another thing I want to be very careful, and I really am very careful with this, because I know for me, and that's the reason why I'm careful. I know for me, sometimes I can get so caught up in the essence of perfectionism and trying to do things perfect. And it doesn't have to be perfect, right? You're human, but at least, trying your best, right? Trying our best. That's the most important part. And so, and I would say, another thing that I would recommend for anyone who wants to participate in a plant ceremony, whether it is through through a group or individual one, I would say, definitely read the four agreements. Definitely read the four agreements for yourself, so that you can understand really the work that you're doing, and how you're deprogramming yourself from all of this stuff, and like you're really going back to yourself. And so, and when you go back to yourself, you give yourself permission to be authentic in your own essence, in who you are. So that's all I have. I kind of wanted to just to share that, because I feel it's important to talk about these things, and to really give the respect, and and in essence the energy, of sacredness. We really connect to that sacredness that they really are. And not take them for granted. They're not to be taken for granted. They're not just one experience that you get to do and say, oh, I did that. They really want to work with you. So if you really want to take as much as you can out of an experience, out of that connection with a plant medicine, then you really want to make sure you're intentional about it. And so and so that is another thing that I wanted to mention too, is that I do offer clearings for people that are setting the intention to connect to the plant medicine. Sometimes there could be programs from other lifetimes that are related to your connection to that plant medicine, that are related to fear and maybe some trauma from other lifetimes, or even this lifetime, that could potentially create an issue between you and the plant medicine. So I clear those programs so that you can drop into the medicine. That doesn't mean that when you receive the medicine that everything's going to go perfectly, like, oh, you're not going to have those moments of upheaval, because you still have to do the work. So the medicine's still going to do the work with you, but at least you don't have to overcome so much of the fear energy as you drop into it, right? Like you're able to really go deeper into the medicine. So if you are looking into sitting with plant medicine, whichever that is, it could be cannabis, it can be um, which I call her Mother Mary. It could be the sacred medicine of mushroom, or ayahuasca, iboga, wachuma, whatever it is that you're looking into connecting to. And it is your first time, and so definitely do consider doing a clearing with me. I will be so happy to hold space for you on that. And I'll be happy to. I also do integration clearings for people. Sometimes it takes a little, especially if you didn't do a clearing prior. Sometimes the integration takes a little. You could get stuck. There's gonna be like upheaval after you take the medicine as you're trying to integrate, and sometimes it'll be a little harder. So then I go in and I share. And I clear things. Well, it's really not me; it's your higher self. But I'm just reflecting that back to you. But your higher self will go in and clear those programs so that you can really ease into the integration and not be stuck in energies. So I hope that makes sense. What I said, I kind of wanted to just invite you to just really go into my website, and I'm going to just put it here real quick. The bloomylotushealing.com. And if you are interested in working with me, and you want to know more about how to clear for your journeys with plant medicine, and clear your Akashic records so that you can be in alignment with the medicine and be able to drop deeper into your connection with the medicine, then definitely do consider. I can also do readings. I do readings for people for any medicines that may be calling you and may be more aligned with you. So, for example, if you wanted to find out what medicine is best for you, I can do a reading for you on that as well. So just hop on my website, and you can book a discovery call if you just want the reading, or if you want to do a clearing, then you can just hop on the spiritual response, the Akashic record clearing, and I can do that clearing for you. So I would be so grateful and eternally grateful to you to be able to do this for you, because it's quite literally aligned with my with what with my mission of healing. So I and then also with my mission of connecting to my ancestry. So anyway, but with that said, I am calling it a day. This is it. This is the end of the video. Thank you so much for listening. I want to thank each one of you, and for your support. And please do consider, share and liking this video. And again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe, so that you know when I go live next. And or when I post a video. So next week I have Nikki coming in. She's going to be talking about conscious parenting. I'm super excited. So definitely do come by on Thursday. We're going to have some really juicy conversations about children, and that joy of connecting with children and holding space for them in a safe way. So anyway, that's it. That's all I have. And namaste. My cat. Oh my goodness.